Alex. I'm a dog trainer here at Make Pause Dog Training, and I'm making this video for Dixon. In the event that you forget anything during the turnover, you're able to reference this information later. It is a lot of information all at once during the turnover, so I'm hoping that this can help you in your future endeavor with Dixon. So I do have an e-collar video that I will be attaching to his blog on the top portion of it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to show you the fundamentals of how the e-collar is going to work. So for example, if I say Dixon down, I am going to pair a hand gesture, my voice, with a command. So Dixon down. If he weren't to listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the stimulation about 1/4 inch. And I'm going to repeat myself with a hand gesture and my voice. I'm going to say Dixon down, and I will immediately pair. For whatever reason he doesn't listen, we're going to increase it just a little bit more, and then we're going to say Dixon down. What we're trying to do is that we're trying to create value in what we're saying. We don't want to repeat ourselves over and over again without having value, right? If we repeat ourselves over and over, we're not having value to the words that we're saying. So it's very important that when we say something, he takes it serious. The e-collar is going to hold him accountable. This is where we call obligation. We combine motivation with obligation, we get what's called reliability. Reliability is when he's going to follow through on cue. So this is why the tool is so important. So right now he's on the down cue. This is probably his favorite cue of all. The way that it should look is that I should be able to walk around him and he should stay on that cue. Now, I'm always anticipating that our dogs are going to mess up. There is nothing wrong with failure. What I mean by that is that I'm going to raise this stimulation by 1/4 inch or so. I don't want to focus too much on the number, but just for context, it is about at a 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk around him. The moment that he messes up, I'm going to continuously press the stimulation to let him know that he is in the wrong. And once he follows through on the cue, then I'll end the stimulation. His job is to understand how to turn off and on the stimulation. Now there's only 2 ways that he's going to end the cue. It's either when I say break or when I put him into the next cue. Now he always does really good with this cue. So we're just going to say, Dixon, break buds. He's allowed to do whatever it is that he wants, which is more than likely going to be just continuing to lay down, which is perfectly fine. So the next cue is going to be our place cue. It's going to say, Dixon, place. Right, so I'm trying to get his attention, pair that with a hand gesture and my voice. Dixon, place. So now I clicked it, didn't really care. I saw it light up green, so I know it's working. Dixon, place. Place. So I said place and I continued to click it. I clicked it 3 times and then he figured it out by the 3rd one that I wanted him to go to place. Good job, buds. Good job. Nothing wrong with giving praise and treats. Please give him praise and treats throughout the time that he's here, throughout the time that you're doing obedience training, I mean. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, what you don't want is a treat dependency, meaning that he's only listening because you have treats. So varying the schedule of reinforcing is very important. So giving him a treat every so often. So place cue, he's really great at. Anything that involves him being lazy, he's really wonderful at. But really the way that it should look is that I should be able to watch TV, enjoy time with the family. This is how you should be able to enjoy him. Your dog staying in its place and you having family time with the rest of the family members. Good job, buddy. You should be able to talk to him and he shouldn't be breaking the place cue. Again, there's only 2 ways that we break a cue. It's by saying break or by putting him onto the next cue. Dixon, break. Good job, buds. Over here, come on. So that's when you can give him love. As long as he's not breaking rules, he's allowed to do whatever it is that he wants, right? Now, when you want boundaries, that's what place is for. It's a really great way for you to kind of set that tone, that boundary, that space. If he's bugging your birds, which I don't think you have birds, but for example, you want to tell him, go to your place. That way he has that boundary. If you have other dogs visiting the home, you can give him that boundary. All right, so our next cue is going to be, Dixon, come. Come on, buds. Over here, come on. Say off, So there, he's not on place cue. Come. There we go. Over here. Sit. Sit. All right, so when I said sit, buddy. Sit. So when I said come, he came around, but then he kind of got lost. The second that you heard me say I was already immediately clicking. What I'm trying to indicate to him that he's in the wrong. When he came and looped around me and he tried to lay down, I was continuously clicking, letting him know that he was in the wrong. When he tried to lay down, I did pull him up. As I was pulling up, I was constantly clicking, so he knew that he was in the wrong. He was very well aware that that's not what I wanted, but he wanted to test it, and And he will do that a lot. It's not that he doesn't know how, it's that he'd rather do something else. And again, we keep him accountable. You know, we obligate him because that's how we get reliability. Maybe So now I'm clicking, he feels it. Sit, buddy, sit. Good job. So when I asked him to sit, we do want him to hold that sit for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. We should be able to walk around him like so. And the moment that he breaks, we're gonna give him a stimulation. Now again, there's nothing wrong with failure. We always anticipate that they're gonna mess up. There's nothing wrong with that. What matters is that we are there to coach him through him breaking that cue. So by coaching him, I mean giving him the stimulation, guiding him to the position. Now if I say sit there, it means sit there. It doesn't mean lay down over there, sit over there, or sit over there. Even if he's sitting, he's not sitting where I asked him to, right? Now, I'm talking about the vicinity. It doesn't have to be exactly where I want him. If he slides a little bit, that's okay, but we don't want him moving to a whole nother space, right? We don't want him just doing whatever he wants just because he wants to, right? All right, our next cue is going to be our heel. So I'm gonna say, Dixxon, come. Dixxon, come. So now I'm pressing the stimulation. Come, buds, this way, come, over here, over here. Good job. So I want him to loop all the way around me. I want his head being next to my hip, ears next to mine, feet parallel with mine. The reason why is because we are ready for our heel. Heel is the most important cue that we're gonna have. It is the foundation of our relationship. This is what's going to indicate to you how strong your relationship is. Does he acknowledge you, respect you? Sit. Side note, do not be afraid to interrupt yourself. If you're in the middle of a conversation, it is not rude to stop the conversation and hold your dog accountable. People pay a lot of money for good dog training. You don't want to throw it away just because you want to seem you don't want to seem impolite, right? You can just tell people, I'm sorry, he's in training, right? He's always going to be in training. After this program ends, he's still in training. He's always going to be in training. So you tell people, I'm sorry, he's in training, most people will understand. So don't be afraid to advocate for your dog, right? When people come try to grab your dog, I'm sorry, he's in training. He needs to sit first, right? Let him sit, and then he can get petted. He can lick, he can do all that, he can't chew, but you know, he can be cute, but this is what's going to prevent him from jumping on people. He's gonna match energy, right? So if someone comes up to him and be like, hey baby, how's it going? He's going to jump, right? So this is where we step in, we advocate for our dog. Nothing wrong with that. It's not rude. A lot of people think it's rude. I felt it was rude when I first started interrupting a conversation, but you wanna get into good habits. Good job. There you go. You saw how he thought about it, and I said, I didn't even click. That's how powerful the is. It's starting to be ingrained in his head, and he associates that with the stimulation. So that's why obligation is so important, because now he's starting to become more and more reliable. All right, so back to the heel. I'm gonna say, Dixxon, heel. So this is where he walks, right? Heel. So he didn't listen, I clicked, and then he followed through. So what I want you to do is when you're practicing inside the house, you're gonna do random left and right turns. This is what's gonna keep his head right by your side. He's not allowed to smell the grass. He's not allowed to pee. He's not allowed to poop. This is what's going to keep him focused on you. You want him to stay focused, right? Because if something were to happen, you are the most important thing on the walk. You are, there's a shared experience. You are what matters. So when you're practicing, I want you to take your left and right turns. You're not really gonna be doing a straight line when you're practicing. And you want those ears right by your hip. Heel, heel, heel. Good job. So you saw there, I did obligate him with the e-collar, but I also used my Mickey Mouse voice, right? Come on. Good job. Sit. Sit. Good job, buds. Good job, my love. Yes. You come in. Did you come in? Right? Sit. And you don't want to get him too excited, because then he thinks we're in playtime. We're not in playtime. There's a distinction between playtime and obedience. Yes, it should feel the same for him, but sit means sit. It doesn't mean let's rough house. Off. You don't want him scratching the e-collar either, so I just say off. You notice that I say off and it's interchangeable. It's one of the cues that we teach along with break. Break! So now he can do whatever he wants. Good job. I know he tires out pretty fast, so I'm trying to go as fast as I can so he doesn't get pooped. Now, the other couple things that we teach in this program are gonna be manners. I covered them a little bit in terms of how we greet him. We want him to sit. So someone will just be like, can I pet your dog? Yes, of course, he's in training. He has to sit first. Dixxon, sit. Now you can pet him. That's how your interactions are going to look, right? So this is how we want him to get petted. As soon as he gets up, oh, you have to stop petting him. So we want him to sit before going through the door. We want him to sit before greeting people, sit before eating, and we want him to sit before he goes into the car. We don't want him to just jump into the car, right? It's all about impulse control. You know, we're trying to keep him safe when it matters. But if there's a competing motivator over there and he wants to run to it and it's not necessarily safe, you can't expect him to understand that it's a dangerous situation the way that we know it's a dangerous situation. This is why we want the obligation and the reliability. As far as the heel, one more thing. When we're walking, there's no smelling, pooping, or any of that. But say that this is a grass area and I know that he needs to pee or poop. I'm just gonna say heel, and then break, and now he's allowed to be a goofball. He's allowed to go pee and poop, right? We're not just trying to control him all day long and not letting him go pee and poop. There's a time and place for it. That's when we say break, right? Again, it's all about safety. I think that just about covers it. If you have any more questions, feel free to give me a call anytime or text me. Thank you so much for letting me be Dixxon's dog trainer. Talk to you soon.